For thousands or maybe even millions of years, human history has remained wrapped in layers of enigma. We've discovered massive pyramids, long-lost forgotten cities, and skeletal remains hidden for ages. But what happens when archaeological finds leave even seasoned experts at a loss for words? In today's video, we're going to look at 15 of the most mysterious and shocking archaeological discoveries in recent years that left experts baffled. Let's start off this list with number 15, Tomb of a Young Warrior Girl. In 1988, archaeologists exploring Tuva, a remote region between Russia and Mongolia, found a partially mummified child's body. Initially believed to be male, genetic testing revealed she was a 12 to 13-year-old girl, a warrior buried with a bow, 10 arrows, and a battle axe. Her burial attire, a fur coat made from jerboa pelts and a leather cap, matched traditional Scythian garb. Her grave mirrored the lifestyle of a soldier, not a noble girl. The find aligned with ancient Greek texts by Hippocrates, who wrote of Scythian women trained for war, remaining virgins until they were killed in battle. This girl's weaponry and burial suggest she met that fate. She wasn't a myth. She was real and wasn't alone. Her story adds weight to the idea that the Amazonian warrior women of legend were more than fiction. In a frozen landscape where time barely moves, her presence remains, a fierce, forgotten soldier whose grave speaks louder than any epic ever could. Number 14, Joseon-era woman mummy. In Osan, about 34 miles south of Seoul, a construction crew found the best-preserved mummy of a woman, believed to be the wife of a high-ranking Joseon dynasty official. Found in a sealed wooden coffin, her body measured just over 5 feet and remained in near-perfect condition, a result of airtight burial practices that created a vacuum-like preservation environment. Alongside her were delicate items, like a ceramic jar, a comb, hairpins, and most notably, a fabric handbag, suggesting her status and the care taken in burial rites. Her appearance, including her hairstyle and garments, pointed to noble lineage from the 16th century. What made this mummy especially unique was that, unlike Egyptian customs, her internal organs were intact, offering researchers rare insights into ancient diseases and diet. Kim Woo-rim, the excavation lead, noted it as one of the finest examples of Joseon mummification, linking historical narrative with science through preserved biology, cultural artifacts, and the story of a woman lost to time. Number 13, giant Maya carvings in Guatemala. In Piton Province, 370 miles north of Guatemala City, archaeologists unearthed an enormous stucco relief on the face of a Maya structure. Measuring over 26 feet wide and 7 feet high, the artwork dates back more than 1,400 years and features 3 deified figures, likely kings or spiritual heroes. According to Francisco Estrada Belli, this wasn't just decoration. It was propaganda carved in stone. Maya civilization blended religion with politics, and this relief likely played a ceremonial role. Bones found nearby suggest the site was sacred, possibly the setting for rituals or royal burials. The Maya, known for architectural brilliance, didn't just build, they told stories in stone. Their structures across Guatemala, Mexico, and Honduras still stand as proof of their scientific and artistic mastery. This particular relief bridges art, authority, and belief. It wasn't just symbolic, it was part of a ritual landscape. Its discovery gives us deeper insight into how the Maya immortalized power and preserved their legacy through monumental design. Number 12, ancient giant stone traps of the desert. While flying over the Middle East in the 1920s, British Royal Air Force pilots noticed strange kite-shaped lines across the desert below. These turned out to be super-duper massive stone structures, ancient hunting traps, spread across Israel, Jordan, Egypt, and even parts of Turkey. Thousands have been documented since, some stretching for miles. These desert kites were made of two long, low stone walls converging into a funnel, ending in deep pits or corrals. Built as far back as 8000 BCE, they were used to corral wild animals like gazelles, herding them into traps where they were either caught or killed. The setup relied on terrain and animal instincts, not technology. In 2011, bones of goitered gazelles were found inside one kite in Syria, confirming their purpose. Coordinated hunting groups would direct herds toward the funnel, using these structures as mass slaughter tools. Today, these kites are physical proof of how early civilizations mastered the land using teamwork, patience, and raw intelligence. Number 11. El Mirador's La Danta Pyramid. Deep in the jungle of Guatemala, the ancient city of El Mirador hides one of the largest pyramids ever built, La Danta. Towering at 236 feet, this massive structure is nearly invisible from afar, camouflaged by trees. What's even more astonishing is its total volume, just under 100 million cubic feet. That makes it one of the biggest structures of the ancient world. Built by the Maya civilization over 2,600 years ago, La Danta wasn't just a religious site, it was an engineering statement. The labor involved is mind-blowing. Researchers estimate over 15 million days of work were needed to complete it. It's the only building in the city still peaking above the jungle canopy. The rest of El Mirador, once a thriving metropolis, was eventually abandoned around the 9th century, swallowed by forest and forgotten for nearly 1,000 years. Today, La Danta stands as both a beacon of Mayan genius and a reminder of just how much we still don't know. Number 10. The ancient temples of prophecy in Armenia. On a windswept hill in the Gegarat region of Armenia, archaeologists uncovered 3 ancient temples dating back over 3,300 years. These temples weren't just religious centers, they were ritual spaces for prophecy and divination, used by the ruling elite to predict and influence events. Each temple had a simple single-room layout, yet inside were basins, charred offerings, clay deity figurines, incense burners, and marked animal bones. According to scholars Adam Smith and Jeffrey Leon, rituals here involved bones, osteomancy, pebbles, lithomancy, and flour, alluromancy, each tied to ceremony, fire, and wine. The purpose was to link past, present, and future in an effort to shape destiny. These rites were not public. They belonged to those in power, forming the backbone of spiritual authority. The site's lack of royal inscriptions leaves much unanswered, but one truth remains. The people of Gegarat believed in signs. Through cracked bones, scattered grains, and sacred fire, they tried to make sense of a chaotic world. Number 9. Mass grave of mummies in Peru. At Pachacamac, not far from Lima, archaeologists from the Free University of Brussels found a burial site unlike anything seen in the region. Hidden beneath centuries of dust and ruin lay the remains of around 80 individuals, most of them mummified and wrapped in ritual cloth. The fetal positioning of the bodies revealed they belonged to the Iqma culture, which flourished for centuries before the Inca Empire took hold. The Iqma saw death not as an end, but as a spiritual return. Each burial was a symbolic step toward rebirth. Alongside adult pilgrims were dozens of children, many of whom experts believe were sacrificed, a common practice among ancient cultures seeking divine favor. Items like carved masks and ritual offerings were found buried with the dead, suggesting these were not random burials, but sacred acts. With no written language to speak for them, the Iqma left behind only temples, bones, and burial rituals. Number 8. Warring States Crystal Cup. In 1990, workers at a brick factory in Xiangcheng County, Henan Province, stumbled upon an ancient tomb during routine excavation. Among the relics inside, jade ornaments, weapons, and ritual objects, was one item that left archaeologists speechless: a transparent crystal cup. At first it resembled modern glassware, even mistaken for trash left by grave robbers. But tests confirmed it dated back over 2,000 years to the Warring States period. Carved from a single piece of natural crystal, the cup stood 6.1 inches tall, flawlessly polished inside and out. What makes it astonishing is not just the craftsmanship, but the purity of the material. No current Chinese mine produces crystal this clear. Some believe it was imported as tribute from distant lands. Its smooth design and golden glow suggest technical expertise far ahead of its time. Now housed in the Henan Museum, this crystal cup remains one of China's most enigmatic relics. Number 7. 200-year-old shipwreck. After tropical storm Eta battered Florida's Crescent Beach in 2020, something unexpected emerged from the eroded shoreline, weathered wooden beams protruding from the sand. A local man, Mark O'Donoghue, noticed the strange structure and contacted Chuck Mead, a maritime archaeologist with LAMP. As the team investigated, they confirmed it was the wreck of a wooden merchant ship from the early 1800s. The ship's frame, fittings, and construction matched vessels built for coastal trade, small cargo ships that once moved goods along the Atlantic coast. One vessel stood out in historical records. The Caroline Eddy, which left Fernandina, Florida in 1880, headed to New York, but disappeared during a storm. Though confirmation is ongoing, the wreck's features align with descriptions of that doomed journey. More than 7% of Florida's known wrecks are merchant ships like this, vital but forgotten. Storm Eta didn't just cause destruction, it peeled back centuries of sand, revealing wood, iron, and stories long buried under the tide's slow grind. Number 6. Ancient meal still visually delicious. In 2014, a construction crew at Jingzhou Middle School in Hubei Province unearthed over 400 tombs buried under school grounds. Some dated as far back as the Warring States era, while others belonged to the Tang and Song dynasties. Among them, one tomb stood apart, believed to belong to a powerful Zhou general. Inside were bows, armor, early gun-like devices, and ritual vessels, suggesting the occupant was a high-ranking military leader. Yet the most shocking discovery wasn't a weapon. It was food. 13 salted fish were carefully boxed above the coffin. Initially mistaken for decayed fabric, experts realized they were perfectly preserved fish, over 2,400 years old. How they remained intact in such a damp environment baffles scientists. Salted fish typically spoil within months. These survived millennia. Researchers are still trying to decode the preservation method. Since then, the fish have gained online fame and exhibit crowds, jokingly dubbed the oldest meal that's still photo-ready. This isn't just food, it's time travel on a plate. Number 5. The Tunnel of Vespasianus Titus. Carved through solid rock in Samandağ, the Titus Tunnel is a feat of raw endurance and ancient engineering. Commissioned during the Roman era under Emperor Vespasian and completed under Titus, the tunnel stretches over 4,000 feet and was built without the help of explosives or advanced tools. Its purpose was to divert dangerous floodwaters from the nearby mountains to protect the coastal city of Seleucia Pieria from being buried under silt. Roman soldiers, sailors, and enslaved laborers spent decades carving through the mountainside, reshaping the course of a river entirely by hand. Today, the tunnel stands dry and preserved, a reminder of what sheer determination and engineering could accomplish. Despite its age, the tunnel remains structurally sound, with its angled air shafts still in place. It's not just a piece of Roman infrastructure, it's proof of long-term thinking and grit. In a time without machines, they redirected nature itself, and the tunnel still tells that story. Number 4. Strange sounds from an ancient well in China. In a quiet part of Shanghai's Baitown, residents began hearing strange, rhythmic thuds echoing from a centuries-old well. The sound, like distant drums, alarmed the community. When officials from the Shanghai Cultural Relics Bureau arrived in 2010, what they expected to be a routine inspection turned into a 6-year excavation. The well stretched over 16 feet deep, its bricks carved with the names of long-forgotten craftsmen. Beneath it lay relics, porcelain shards, stove fragments, wall remains, all pointing to a forgotten temple from the Song dynasty. Texts confirmed that the area once housed Longping Temple, a sacred site tied to Qinglong town. In 2016, an underground palace was uncovered under the pagoda's ruins, holding thousands of ancient coins and a 5-layered reliquary containing sacred Buddha relics. This discovery finally confirmed that Qinglong was a major coastal trading port. What started as ghostly sounds from a well turned into proof of a temple swallowed by time and a lost city reborn through patience and curiosity. Number 3. Phylon and Heron's wine robots. Around 2,300 years ago, Phylon of Byzantium and Heron of Alexandria stunned elite circles in the Greek world with robotic wine servants. Yes, you heard that right. Robotic wine servers in ancient times. They weren't humanoid in the modern sense, but they rolled on wheels and used internal mechanics to serve guests at banquets. Each was equipped with a concealed pitcher, a counterweight system, and mechanical triggers. When a guest placed a cup in the robot's hand, the pressure would activate a lever, tilting the arm to pour wine. Once the cup hit a certain weight, the system automatically stopped pouring. It was all based on physics and carefully engineered mechanics, not electronics, of course. But it worked. These machines didn't just serve drinks. They sparked conversations, stunned visitors, and showed just how far ancient minds could push invention for entertainment and luxury. Today, these early automata are considered precursors to robotics, built in a time when few thought such ideas were even possible. Number 2. The Lycurgus Cup. The Lycurgus Cup is a Roman-era glass artifact that shifts color depending on how light hits it, an effect scientists didn't fully explain until the 20th century. Created around the 4th century AD, the cup appears green when lit from the front and a deep, rich red when lit from behind. This phenomenon is due to dichroic glass, which contains tiny particles of gold and silver that reflect and absorb light in different ways. It's a rare example of ancient nanotechnology, crafted with precision that shouldn't have been possible at the time. No other surviving Roman artifact shows this same effect, suggesting the knowledge may have died with its creator. The cup itself depicts the myth of King Lycurgus trapped in vines, symbolic, detailed, and unusually advanced. Whether made for royalty or ritual, it remains unmatched. Thousands of years later, we still can't replicate it without modern tools, proof that its maker was working with knowledge far beyond their era. Number 1. Sigiriya. Rising sharply from the plains of Sri Lanka, Sigiriya, or Lion Rock, is one of the most striking stone fortresses on Earth. It was commissioned by King Kashyapa in the 5th century, who reportedly feared invasion by his own brother and turned the towering rock into a royal stronghold. The summit was home to his palace, complete with lush frescoes and complex architecture. Surrounding it were the oldest landscaped gardens known to history, carefully planned with pools, fountains, and symmetrical layouts. Only a few of the original murals remain, but they're considered early examples of Sri Lankan classical realism. After Kashyapa's death, the palace transitioned into a Buddhist monastery, where monks lived in its caves and halls for centuries. By the 14th century, Sigiriya was abandoned, its grandeur left to the wild. Even now, the reason for its desertion is unknown. Today, it stands as a surreal blend of art, power, and mystery, an ancient masterpiece carved into the sky. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon.